Hey everybody, this is Riker Rider, and welcome to the last bonus episode of Let's Play Trauma Team, in which I will be operating on a patient. Now, I couldn't leave you guys without a Trauma Let's Play in which I play an extremely difficult operation on Specialist. This is Twisted Rosalia, the final boss. And a lot of things changed on Specialist, especially with regards to special bonuses, but I'm not really good enough to care about score on an operation this difficult. Basically, the way surgery works on Specialist is everything goes faster. Like, things that regenerate, things that gradually move towards places they shouldn't be, all kinds of other things in the mission just go so fast. And there are added things that only occur in Specialist. Such as in this particular operation, on Resident, once you injected the gelator into the segment of the virus colony, you could just forget about that segment while you dealt with the rest of them. On Specialist, if you don't deal with all of the pieces or all the segments of the virus colony at this relatively quickly, the shell and any colonies growing on top of it will regenerate completely. And that's extremely frustrating because nearly every mistake you make on Specialist, like every miss you make, or everything that you do, or everything you let happen, like with the spores touching the clouds, or if you make a mistake with the injections, every mistake you make here will decrease your maximum vitals, and that's very important for the end of the operation, to have your maximum vitals as high as possible. When you get past the first two phases, where this is where the operation starts becoming very hectic. Well, maybe hectic's not the right word for it, but you have to work extremely fast. You may notice a different strategy I'm using than I did on Resident. What I'm doing here is I'm breaking the shell with the laser 2 times rather than 3, so that, yeah, I had a few derps in here, because I actually recorded this a few times, so I wanted to at least show you guys a fighting chance with this operation. And I was kind of frustrated with the number of times I was failing so early. Anyway, back to the reason why... I think something very peculiar happens right here. Yeah, every single one of those mistakes I'm making is decreasing my maximum vitals. The very peculiar thing that happened here is that the two virus colonies were so close to each other that I was able to, for some odd reason, inject both of them with the same syringe, like the same ampule. It's a very high priority to get those shards out of the way. The ones that appear after you break the shell on the virus colony, because when one of those makes contact with the spore, it does about 20 vitals damage and decreases your maximum vitals by 5. One thing you also may notice is that the colonies themselves, if you leave them alone too long, will regenerate, and they regenerate a lot faster than they did on Resident. I actually got really lucky on those shard spawns. I think once you have all the segments injected with gelator, they can't respawn. Like, you can't have segments respawn while you're cleaning up. See, my max vitals dropped to 94 because of that dirtling with the needles. And you're going to need to have your max vitals by the end of this operation be at least 70. I really don't see how it's possible to clear the operation with less than 70 max vitals. Because the little trick they pull on the end, I'm not going to spoil it too much, just in case you guys, for some reason, haven't watched the original Twisted Rosalia video, and you guys should, because it was pretty exciting. Another thing about the floating virus colonies is that you won't be able to treat them all before they grow to maximum size, and when they're at maximum size, you really have to watch out for spores that come off the top of the screen. Now, the reason why I'm breaking the shell here, even though I don't have all the parts extracted, is if you let the shell stick, around and don't break it after you've removed the virus colony, the virus colony that's growing on top will respawn very quickly. Now, you don't think you have a lot of time here, but you really can't afford to let those lacerations from the shards stay on the heart for very long. Primarily because they just do so much damage, and you're trying to keep up with things as it is. And if one of the spores contacts the... Yeah, like that. That was pretty bad luck, actually.
Vitals don't look good.
It does a lot of damage, and things can get out of hand very quickly. Also, you will need to drag the shards around the spores, or you will get a miss. Now, once you've sutured, well, you don't have to do it now, but basically, before you make your final incision into the heart, you're going to want to raise your vitals to whatever your max is, which for me is 91, and that should be plenty. All you really need to complete this mission successfully is 70. 80 is good too. Like, 80 means you probably won't fail, 90 means you definitely won't fail unless you're really slow. But basically, once you inject the cardioplegic solution, the vitals will go down very fast. A lot faster than they did in Resident. I believe I finished with 47 vitals in Resident. And
vitals don't look good.
And it will take more than one injection of the anti-serum to kill Rosalia here. I'm actually thrilled that I passed this mission, because this is the first time in any trauma game, Under the Knife 2, Second Opinion, New Blood, or this, that I was able to pass the final operation on the hardest difficulty. I made this look fairly easy, but it's not. And there are missions harder than this, like Missing Girl on Specialist is probably the hardest thing in the game. I'm not going to be showing that off at all. If you want to watch some missions, I'll link you guys a channel in the video description that has every single mission in this game accessed. As you can see, to get the special bonuses, you're only allowed to miss once, and you can't let the spores touch the colonies ever.
The operation was a success, right? No,
this also lets me further demonstrate the different text that you get. I believe there's different text for every single grade except between S and XS. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to show off all the medals for CRS-01, and some of them are really difficult, aside from the obvious one at the end that says XS every surgery. I'm going to list the medal requirements in the video itself, and next time on Let's Play Trauma Team, I'm going to show off all the locations of the medals in Gabe's Diagnostics. See you guys later.